Hi, so today we're going to do a video that was requested by a friend. Top 10 baits to have in a novice fisherman's tackle box. And this is just mainly for bass because I didn't think that's mostly the stuff I have. And yeah, it's mostly what everybody's going for right now. I mean, if you want to set up a tackle box for muskie or trout or I don't know, pike, you could look in different places. I might eventually explain that as well, but that will be a different video. And yeah, you can. And so I have 10 here, 10 baits that I would recommend to pretty much anyone for bass fishing and bass or pike. These kind of fall into the same category. Although some are strictly to bass. Let's talk about the jerkbait first. Right here, this is a KVD jerkbait right here. They're really cool baits. I think they work a little bit better than Rapala for me. That's just me talking, but these look a lot like a sucker in the front of them, and they mimic a shiner as well. If you're fishing in the bay at all. So yeah, these are fun baits. This one's got a rattler inside, so I'll hold these so you can't hear it. Yeah, so that's got a rattler inside. So this is extra loud. You jerk it and stop, and that's usually when the fish hit. So this is a great bait to use in a lake or an open area that you know has shiners in it. This one's actually pretty big too if you wanted a size comparison. That's number one. For number two, we have a popper in the exact same color as the jerkbait down there. The reason I bought this popper is because it throws a lot of water and it has this little tail. For some reason, a lot of people, no, everybody will catch more fish if they have a tail like this. This tail, I don't know why. I haven't done my research yet, but this attracts a lot more bass than ones with no tail. Yeah, this one also has beads in it. I don't know if you can see. It's actually see-through a little bit on the bottom. So there's 4 beads in it. Maybe that's 5. That's 5 beads. Never mind. But yeah, this is a popper. This is strictly a top water. This will not go underwater, and you're gonna be jerking this across the surface, throwing a lot of water, looking like a dying minnow. So yeah, that's number 2 for baits. The top 10 baits. Number 3 is something I just tried out the other day and was very successful. I caught 4 bass all over 15 inches and a 1 20-inch pike on this little bluegill swim bait. This is a live target bluegill. I think I've talked about this in a previous video. It might have been the hollow body topwater one, but this little bait is amazing. I mean, it's small enough that most bass could fit it in their mouth, and it's got a great swim bait action, which this is actually a swim bait. And yeah, you could add a treble hook on the bottom if you want, but where I was fishing, it was quite weedy, so I didn't end up adding one for that occasion. But I had 2 bowfin on. I don't know if you're gonna go after bowfin at all, but I had 2 bowfin on with this little thing too. So this is a very versatile little bait that I really like, and I've caught a lot of fish on it. So I would recommend this one as my number 3. Number 4 is the lipless crankbait right here. This does not have a lip, so you're gonna tie it on from the top right here. I don't know if you can see that right there, but you're gonna tie it on from the top, and it jerks through the water very similar to a crankbait, but it does not have the lip to make it go down as far. So this is very similar to the crankbait that I will be explaining, but it is still a very good bass. It's almost strictly just for bass, this lipless crank. That's number 4. Number 5. Sorry about that. Topwater frogs. So this is my favorite topwater frog. This is a very realistic one. This is a live target frog, hollow body, topwater. It's got these it's got the little skirted tail that look like legs when they get wet, and you'd use this the same way that you would use the popper. Right here, you jerk it across the water. And this is most effective when used on lily pads. So, yep, that's number 5. And you can use this on rivers too, in the other video, the river fishing tactics video that I mentioned. Number 6, the squarebill crankbait by Strike King. This is used mainly for shallow humps and ledges in the water, mostly rocky, so you can bump them up against them and make a ton of racket for the bass to come investigate. This is a very... Oh, I didn't know how I dropped that. Okay. This is a very good bait. I have 3 baits in this exact same color, the popper, the jerkbait, and this one. And I don't know if this one has rattlers, does it? No, it doesn't sound like it. So this one does not have rattlers, but it is still a very good crankbait. Actually, one of the best square bills on the market right now. So yeah, this is going to be used around shallow humps and ledges that are mostly rocky. I wouldn't recommend this in weeds because of the treble hooks. Obviously, you can change them out for single hooks if you want, but straight from the store, I would not recommend this in the weeds at all. So there's that. Number 7 is jigs. Every bass fisherman, or well, every bass fisherman has to have a jig in their tackle box. This is a football jig. Yeah, this is a football jig, and it is a peanut butter and jelly color. I have not had a chance to try this one yet, but that's probably because I just got it. But this little guy over here, I think he's a Strike King, but he's got the rattlers right here, and he's got a bait hook, and it's skirted. So I've caught a lot of smallmouth on this one. I would recommend, when you use your jigs in the river, I would recommend hooking on a soft plastic to the tail of it to make it look like a fleeing crawfish. I think I have a Kraken craw from Guggen Baits on there right now. This is probably my go-to soft plastic right now because I've caught so many fish on it. Yeah, that's how I use my jigs, mostly with a tail. I'm sure other people use them different, but that's how I catch the most fish on them. So, yep, there's my peanut butter and jelly, and there's my swim jig. Yes, so get a jig if you're gonna be into bass fishing. This is number 8. This is not very different at all from the other frog that I showed you right here. It's just a little smaller, and it is a popper, just like the shad popper. It's a lot more colorful though, and I just like it because it throws almost the same amount of water when you jerk it, and yeah, it's soft, so you don't have to. They can clamp down on it without realizing it's hard, but I guess by the time they do that, you probably are hooked them anyways. So yeah, this is very similar to the topwater frog because it is topwater, and to the topwater plug because it is topwater. So it'd be used the same way as both of those, so I don't think I have to explain it again because you guys are pretty smart if you're watching this video. This is the 9th bait. This is a wacky worm. These are one of the best ever, in my opinion, because they're just so versatile. I've caught pike. I've caught my biggest pike on a wacky worm, believe it or not. It is in a harbor, and yeah, it was 28 inches, and this is a little smaller than the one I was using to catch him, but I just got back from a trip where I caught 20 plus fish on just wacky worms alone, and I literally just caught a fish that had well, they kept stealing our wacky worms, so I was getting pretty mad, and so we went away for lunch, and then we came back to the spot we were fishing, and I caught a fish that had 2 of my wacky worms in his mouth still. I got one of them right here, I think. Yeah, right here. This has been in a fish's mouth. I got both of them back, but it's crazy. The fish spit 2 wacky worms when I was reeling them in. I don't believe it, but I guess it happened. So, yeah, there's this wacky worm, and then there's those 2 that have been in a fish's mouth and out. So, yeah, I guess fish really like them to just take them like that, and they can be used for so many different things. You can rig them a bunch of different ways. I have a little video I made about 2 ways to rig them, but there's like infinite possibilities. You can rig them any way you want, and they can still be used very well. Number 10, I've caught a ton of fish on this up in Tawas, well, around Tawas area in Michigan. So there's this buzzbait. It's called a buzzbait. What the heck? Oh, it's a frog. Okay. Yeah, we're filming this down at the pond, so yeah. There's this buzzbait. I don't know why I have it in fire tiger colors, but I'd probably recommend a black or a blue or darker, maybe even a stark white one. But I don't know why I have it in fire tiger. It's the best example I could find. This is a really good make one. It's got the blade which spins to mimic like the dying minnow or a fleeing minnow. Yeah, so when you're bringing it through the water, it's just gonna be spinning like that pretty frequently, and yeah, creates a lot of disturbance, a lot of noise. It's very noisy when you pull it across the top too. So, yep, that's number 10, and that was the last one. So for an overview, we've got the jerkbait, topwater hard popper, swimbait, lipless crank, topwater frog without a popper. We got a Strike King squarebill crank. We have a swim jig and a football jig. We have a frog with a popper, topwater frog with a popper. We have wacky worm. We have a buzzbait, and I wanted to show you guys this thing because for the swim bait category, I mean, you can have anything you want. Your tackle box does not have to match mine. You just have to have the same types of bait that I do. So that's why I brought in this little guy. This is my little perch, my live target perch. Last time I took this guy out, he got so tore up by pike and bass that he's missing an eye now, and he's just all tore up. He's cracking in some spots, and I only used him once. So I'm really excited to use this guy again because he works so well. Live Target made both of these, so huge shout out to them because they make some pretty great baits. So that's 10. You can get these baits wherever you want. You can Google them each by their names. I'll put the names of them in the description, not like the actual brands or anything, but just the names of them so you can know like how to get them and stuff. But that's my overview for the novice fisherman. Thanks guys for watching, and yeah, come back next week. I'm sorry I posted a little bit later this week, but got a lot going, and come back next week if you really like this video, and I'll have something new. Thanks for watching.